starting off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have been in the headlines a lot this training camp, starting with the obvious injury to Ryan Jensen. That's it. Sorry, Ryan Jensen. Losing him was a big part. But some notes that I had from training camp, headlines by Playoff Leonard Fournette coming in and saying he's got big jeans when he was asked about his weight and coming into training camp a little overweight. Tom Brady turns 45 tomorrow, by the way, just to let you gentlemen know. Or today, he actually turns 45. Happy birthday, Tom Brady.
Happy birthday, Tom.
One other interesting note that I took this and I was like, I want to put this in my opening monologue here for Bucs camp. Antoine Winfield was asked about how training camp was going, and something he brought up was saying that there's goats everywhere. In the wide receiver room, you got a goat at quarterback. You got goats everywhere on this team. And he's not wrong. I mean, maybe not like goats, like greatest of all time, but like
that's what it means. That's what it means to be a GOAT.
It's not this acronym, but you know.
There's a lot of great. I mean, you do have the GOAT at quarterback. You have an all-timer in Julio Jones there now. Obviously, he's not the same Julio Jones. Mike Evans is Mike Evans is a fantastic, phenomenal wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's an all-time great. You were going to say it. Go ahead.
I really like Mike Evans. I think I just didn't want to get bombarded with attacks of
I know you were scared.
Oh, no. That's Evans. One you can die on your hill for. If people come in here and say Mike Evans isn't an all-timer, bye. You're dumb. You're dumb.
Exactly. So there's tons of GOATs on this team, tons of legendary type players on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But there's also some young guys on this team, including defensive lineman Joe Tryon, who, Aaron, you were very high on. You were very high on Tryon coming in this draft class. I like that. Ha ha. But he has been the talk of Bucs camp, and obviously the Bucs did not re-sign JPP and had a lot of faith in Tryon. Aaron, what should we expect from him this season?
You expect a lot. Expect exactly what I said you were going to get from him this year. This is why you don't have to bring back a JPP. This guy's young. Remember, he was a first-round pick. It's not like some late-round pick that just jumped out of nowhere. He was a first-round pick from Washington. He's a guy that can set the edge, get on the outside, and get to the quarterback. 4 sacks last year, but he only started 6 games. He played limited, obviously behind Barrett there, behind JPP. That defensive line was so good the last couple of seasons. He hasn't got as much work. Now you're going to get a guy that comes in, and again, he's not some name that people know about. This is a guy that's 6'5", 259, and quick off the ball. I mean, he gets to the quarterback very, very fast. You talk about JPP being 33, 34. He is a younger version of that type of player. He's going to make waves in that NFC South. Plus, we're talking about, look, Atlanta has Marcus Mariota. Carolina has whoever the hell's in that carousel of a quarterback room. And then the Saints have Jameis Winston coming back from an ACL injury. There's going to be plenty of sacks to go around. Joe Tryon is going to be a recipient of those. He's going to be somebody that kind of anchors that defense on the other side if you're going to double team Barrett, there's Joe Tryon, right? So he doesn't have the name. He doesn't have the kind of clout that a Barrett has, and then he's going to be able to wreak some more havoc, especially in those one-on-one matchups. But again, his physicalness, his burst off the ball, coming from college into the NFL, it was there, and I think it was evident last year. I think you're going to see more of it this year, especially when he's playing a full complement of snaps. I look forward to him having double-digit sacks this year.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Beast.
I mean, we don't normally like to really get high on the training camp reports here, but he has been all over the quarterback in camp. He also, and this is the stats that I give you here, he's also got an interception in camp. Batted up ball the other day, and he came up with the interception. So Joe Tryon has been the big-time standout at Bucs camp. To talk about the wide receiver position or not to talk about the wide receiver position, let's just do it here. Obviously added Julio Jones for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have Russell Gage, who we've been all high on for at least fantasy purposes. Mike Evans is still there. Chris Godwin was not on the PUP list. He's going to be working his way through injuries. AJ, what is the current state of the wide receiver position in Tampa Bay?
To an extent, it's a replication of what they built their success on the last 2 years, and that's having weapons to go around. I mean, you got a guy like Julio Jones sitting out there. This is what they did with all the other players the last couple of seasons. Oh, nobody wants to pick up Leonard Fournette? We'll go ahead and do that. Nobody wants to grab Antonio Brown? We'll go ahead and do that. Julio Jones is sitting out there, and sure, he's been injured for the last 2 years, but something tells me if I pair a great like Julio Jones with a great like Tom Brady, I'm sure we'll get enough production that we're satisfied with it until we have the likes of our star guys being Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So this is going to be another situation where Tom Brady has places to go with the ball. He's not devoid of weapons. And if all of a sudden he keeps getting linemen that going down, God forbid for Tom Brady, he is 45 now, he's going to need those weapons so he can get the ball out quick, and then these guys can move the chains without him having to do all the work. So I just think it's another situation where they brought in a decent amount of weapons. Tom Brady has options, and it's the way he gets to finish out his career, no matter if that's this year, next season, or the year after. Not how it looked his last season in New England.
Yeah, there was nobody there. There was nobody there in New England. Now he's got
That's what he said when he threw his last interception. There's nobody there.
There's never been anybody there in New England. Outside of Randy Moss, he's been throwing to guys with no names for his entire career.
Yeah,
he'd tell you there were people there because he made them look good.
He made all those. Yeah, he made all those names.
Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Deion Branch, all those guys.
Wes Welker.
I'm not saying they were. I'm just saying he made them work. Like there may not have been a Randy Moss every single year, but he looked at those guys as a weapon. His last season, he didn't look at anybody as a weapon. He just threw the ball and hoped for the best.
But what I'm saying is, why do you think his best numbers have come with Tampa Bay? At 44.
The reasons I laid out.
Because he actually has the weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be fun to watch him with who. It's just gonna be fun to watch him with Julio. With Julio. Not just
against Julio Jones.
Just the name
last year.
No. I'm just saying it's just going to be fun to watch and hear someone say Tom Brady to Julio Jones. We lived in a time where both those players. Yeah, well, yeah,
he's hurt by week 2.
Oh man, that's just disrespectful. But
no,
it's factual. It's factual. Okay, I get it.